Have you ever wondered what secrets lie beneath the golden sands of ancient Egypt? We often picture majestic pyramids, powerful pharaohs, and gods with animal heads. But beyond the gilded tombs and hieroglyphic texts, a darker, more mysterious world existed. Today, we're pulling back the veil to uncover the dark secrets that ancient Egypt tried to hide. Let's start with the pyramids themselves. We see them as grand monuments, but have you ever considered the human cost? Thousands of laborers toiled under the scorching sun for decades to build these tombs for their kings. While many were skilled workers who were paid and housed, evidence suggests that working conditions were incredibly harsh. Accidents were common, and the sheer physical toll was immense. These weren't just architectural wonders. They were mountains built on the sweat and sacrifice of an entire generation. Now, let's talk about the pharaohs. They were seen as gods on earth, but their path to power and their reign were often soaked in intrigue and betrayal. Take the famous boy king, Tutankhamun. His tomb was an incredible discovery, but his life was short and likely plagued by health issues stemming from generations of inbreeding within the royal family. It was common practice for pharaohs to marry their sisters or close relatives to keep the bloodline pure. This led to a host of genetic disorders that weakened the ruling class over centuries. King Tut himself had a clubfoot and likely needed a cane to walk, a far cry from the powerful image we often see. And what about succession? It wasn't always a smooth, peaceful process. The struggle for the throne could be ruthless. There are records of assassinations, mysterious deaths, and rival heirs being eliminated. For example, the female pharaoh Hatshepsut was one of the most successful rulers in Egyptian history. Yet, after her death, her successor, Thutmose III, systematically tried to erase her from history, chiseling her name and image off monuments. Was this a simple power move, or was there a darker secret behind his attempt to wipe her from existence? The Egyptian obsession with the afterlife also had a grim side. Mummification was a complex and sacred process designed to preserve the body for its journey to the next world. But what happened to the people who served the pharaoh in life? In the earliest dynasties, there's evidence of something truly chilling: retainer sacrifice. When a king died, his servants, officials, and even his animals were sometimes sacrificed and buried with him in surrounding tombs. The idea was that they would continue to serve him in the afterlife. Imagine knowing your life was tied directly to your masters. Thankfully, this brutal practice was later replaced with the use of Shafti dolls, small figurines meant to do the work for the deceased in the afterlife. Let's delve deeper into their medical practices. The ancient Egyptians were surprisingly advanced in medicine for their time. They could set broken bones and perform simple surgeries. However, their knowledge was a mix of practical science and magical belief. Cures for ailments often involved bizarre and, frankly, disgusting ingredients. Imagine a doctor prescribing a remedy made from mouse droppings or fly spakes. They also believed that many illnesses were caused by evil spirits or the wrath of the gods. So a treatment might involve both a poultice and a magical incantation to drive out the demon supposedly causing your toothache. Magic, or Heker, was a fundamental part of Egyptian life, and it wasn't all good. While there were spells for protection and healing, there was also a belief in dark magic. Curses were a very real fear. People created curse tablets, or defictions, to bring misfortune upon their enemies, rivals in business, or even love rivals. These curses would call upon dark gods or vengeful spirits to inflict suffering, failure, or even death. The famous curse of the pharaohs, thought to plague those who opened Tutankhamun's tomb, might be a modern myth, but for the ancient Egyptians, the power of a curse was deadly serious. And what about the common people? Life was far from easy. Most Egyptians were farmers, their lives dictated by the flooding of the Nile. A bad flood season could mean famine and starvation for thousands. Disease was rampant and life expectancy was low, likely around 30 to 35 years old. They lived in constant fear of things we take for granted. Wild animals like crocodiles and hippos were a genuine threat in the Nile, Workplace accidents, infections, and childbirth were all life-threatening events. The beautiful art in tombs often depicts a peaceful, orderly life, but for many, day-to-day existence was a struggle for survival. Even their gods had a dark side. We know of gods like Anubis, the guide of the dead, but what about Ammit, the devourer of the dead? She was a terrifying goddess with the head of a crocodile, the torso of a lion, and the hindquarters of a hippo. In the afterlife, a deceased person's heart was weighed against the feather of Mat, the goddess of truth and justice. If the heart was heavy with sin, Ammit would devour it, and the soul would cease to exist forever. This wasn't a hell of eternal punishment, it was complete and total annihilation. The ultimate fear for an ancient Egyptian was not just death, but eternal oblivion. The more we uncover, the more we realize that ancient Egypt wasn't just a civilization of golden splendor. It was a world filled with political conspiracies, deadly family traditions, brutal sacrifices, and a deep-seated fear of both magical curses and divine judgment. These dark secrets don't make ancient Egypt any less fascinating. In fact, they make it more real, more complex, and more human. They show us a civilization grappling with the same fears, ambitions, and brutal realities that have shaped cultures throughout history. The sands of Egypt still hold so many secrets, and archaeologists continue to unearth discoveries that challenge our understanding. What other dark truths are waiting to be found? Let me know in the comments what you think is the most shocking secret of ancient Egypt. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more journeys into the hidden corners of history. See you next time.